Oh man, wait, is Joe Rogan on the raw milk fad too?
People live
He
on
would he would be. He would be on this raw milk fad. I'll explain in a second. Let's watch this clip.
farms have been drinking raw milk since the beginning of time. It's normal and healthy. It tastes better. It's way easier for you to
It does not taste better, I guarantee it, dude. I've known people on farms, they say that the milk has like pus in it and it's warm when it comes out. It's got like bits of blood in it too, more often than not. Like raw milk is not appetizing. What? It does not taste better, bro. That has gotta be capped.
digest. But I've definitely bought it.
But I don't hear the French dying in droves either.
They seem to be healthy as fuck, and they're not as fat. People live on farms.
So yeah, Joe Rogan, of course, is one of the pro raw milk movement people. If you look up drinking raw milk on YouTube, I thought that there would be a bunch of news articles talking about it, but what comes up first, because it gets far more views, are all the Dude Bro podcast clips with titles like "The Benefits of Drinking Raw Milk." Now, if you guys don't know, raw milk is unpasteurized, meaning it has not been disinfected or sterilized, and it's not been skimmed and made clean and like completely sterile for consumption, right? There are no real benefits to drinking raw milk over pasteurized milk. Any that you could always get by supplementing yourself in other ways. What's so weird to me is how much people like Joe Rogan take supplements and whatnot to like help reach their macros and improve their nutrition, which is fine. Supplements are okay. Like taking a vitamin supplement is okay. Taking like a supplement for anything you might be short in or that you might be trying to get more of in your body that you can't get from food is fine. It's completely normal. Doctors are like fully back that kind of thing. But the idea that they would then say, when these are already supplement junkies, that you need to start drinking raw milk because of its health benefits, it's like, what does it have going for it that you can't get from like a vitamin supplement? Like, I don't get it. Regardless, though, people are poisoning themselves a lot with this raw milk. Recently, there was a batch of it in California discovered with bird flu in it. So that's pretty cool. And this raw milk thing is getting to be an even bigger fad with the right day by day. And it's just one of those situations where all I can do is sit back and laugh. Like, why even try to convince them not to poison themselves by drinking raw milk? Why would I put in any effort into trying to improve the health of these people? Anyway, as you can see, people have been drinking less milk every decade, it seems, and which is probably not a good thing, actually. I drank a lot of milk growing up. Like, I always loved having cereal and milk or getting, like, a carton of milk at the school or whatever. I've always liked just normal-ass milk, so I've always had plenty of calcium in my body. I feel like drinking this much less cannot be good for you, right? Like kids drinking less milk has to be bad for development. Like, you gotta have some. Like, it's good for you. Like, milk in general, like, just milk is good for you. Unless you're lactose intolerant, in which case, I guess you'd be fucked. Thank God I am not lactose intolerant. I love me some dairy.
There may not be a use in crying over spilled milk, but you have no idea the debate's taking place right now over raw milk.
It's one of those professions where there aren't a lot of vacation days. Weekends really are no different than weekdays.
Susan Young's work starts early and ends late. Even later now that
Those
her
are
small
goats.
little farm has got a new product on the market. This summer, her home state, Iowa, joined more than 30 others that allow producers to now sell consumers dairy products, including milk, unpasteurized. That's raw.
On-farm sales makes sense, okay? You'll notice that, like, the red states don't... It's not even a red or blue state thing. Like, you'll notice that, like, Georgia... Like, all these states that have loads of cows, Georgia has a ton, Mississippi has a ton, Arkansas has a good amount of cows, Texas certainly does. Like, these are all states with a fuckload of cows. The ones with all the dairies have on-farm sales legal. I think it's fine. If you want to go to a fucking dairy farm and go buy raw milk, that seems reasonable. But to make it available for retail sale, like, it could just be on the shelf next to the normal milk and you could accidentally buy raw milk. Like, let's be real. Zoomers are fucking stupid. Okay, if they see cheaper milk available and it's the raw stuff, they'll buy it and they won't read the label. All right? Like, I feel like this is not a smart way to go about providing it. Washington is safe? No, it's not. No, retail sales are legal in Washington. Washington, Oregon, and California. And in California, they just found a batch of raw milk with bird flu in it.
Milk.
That provides a whole new income stream for our farm.
Let's go back to middle school for a quick refresher on pasteurization. It's a centuries-old process that heats up milk to kill off bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, or E. coli, then cools it back down.
The warming of attitudes toward raw, unpasteurized milk appears to be fueled by a post-COVID trend of seeking out more natural products, as well as TikTokers urging
For those that don't know, a lot of people got long COVID and it fucked their bodies, much like it did mine. And those people, a lot of them COVID deniers, were desperately trying to figure out what was wrong with them and started going on insane health kicks to try to solve their long COVID symptoms. Because long COVID can manifest in countless ways, from ME/CFS, which is a chronic fatigue syndrome, to that and many other symptoms. Many can go from long COVID can fuck up your digestion. It can cause constant nausea, body aches. It can just make you feel like total garbage all the time. And so with millions, tens of millions of Americans getting long COVID, tens of millions of Americans didn't understand what was happening to their body after they got better and started searching out like bogus health advice in desperation to reclaim their health. This was to a degree. I didn't go into like bogus bullshit health stuff, but I will say the long COVID symptoms were so bad for me. I spent hours and hours a day just searching through like Reddit threads about things that could possibly help. And the only thing that can help is time. Like you just have to hope it gets better with time. Because your body's fucked after you get COVID. If you get long COVID, you're just, for a few years, you're hard fucked. Like you're between a rock and a hard place. And I think a lot of people started seeking out these bogus like alternative medicine things after they got long COVID. I think millions of Americans had their lifestyles fucked by long COVID, didn't realize what had happened to them, and started thinking that like, oh, I need to do some lifestyle changes to go back to normal or something, because it's not a coincidence that this spiked after COVID. And of course, people being inside and online all day is probably playing a big part too. You know, just on TikTok all day, getting bullshit like health advice.
consumers to choose raw.
Let's discuss the fact that the FDA says this is dangerous.
Raw milk activists like Sally Fallon Morell say raw milk has more nutrients.
I love how they're all anti-FDA. Well, these are the people who won. They won. They're getting their way. There's not going to be any pasteurized milk available anymore.
Raw milk is nature's perfect food, and we have the technology today to produce very safe raw milk and get it.
Bro, why does she look like an ogre from fucking WoW? Like, I don't trust a word she says.
To every child who needs it in this country.
Okay, instant fact check. Yes, food safety in America has come a long way in the last 120 years, and the risk of consuming raw milk is low, especially for the average American. But for young children, seniors, or pregnant women, those risks are higher and potentially deadly.
Or anybody who is as immunely compromised as them. You know, like, for example, anyone with lupus or an immune disease. How many people in America have immune diseases? Oh, a fucking fuckload? I didn't realize. Yeah, a lot of people in America have immune diseases. I'm pretty sure they shouldn't be drinking raw milk.
So the raw milk debate comes down to, do the benefits outweigh the risks? And most epidemiologists, researchers, and pediatricians agree that there just aren't really any benefits at all to drinking raw, unpasteurized milk. So no, they say the risks aren't worth it.
The bulk of the data demonstrates that pasteurized milk is very healthy and easily digestible and leads to good health outcomes.
Take it from a family with a raw milk nightmare story.
It was, hell is putting it mildly.
Mary McGonigal Martin was trying to find healthier food for her 7-year-old.
The way she described hell sounds like they were shitting their brains out. They got Salmonella or E. coli, didn't they?
Son Chris. Internet research led her to raw milk. 3 weeks later, Chris was on a ventilator, undergoing kidney dialysis, and had developed pancreatitis. She says it was E. coli from the milk, and it led to 2 hellish months.
Well, I was right about what did it, but yeah. It would have been a lot funnier if the whole family was just shitting their brains out for 2 days, but... Oh, they're killing their kids. Many such cases.
In the hospital. Chris survived, somehow miraculously, according to his mother.
Thank God.
But she spent the 17 years since then warning the world about foodborne illnesses.
Here's the thing about raw milk. Or just like driving a car and wearing your seatbelt. I could drive my car for a long time and not be in an accident. The same with raw milk. Raw milk is great until it has a pathogen in it.
But in an era where soy,
very good way of putting it,
almond, and other dairy alternatives eat away at traditional milk's market share, Americans now drinking about 50% less milk than they did in the 70s, many consumers and farmers are glad raw milk is an option again.
Noah Pransky is joining us now. It is just so interesting, Noah, because as you point out, there are states who are moving towards the legalization of selling this. Talk about the demand. I mean, you mentioned there are some like influencers, et cetera, who are sort of saying, hey, raw milk's great. Is it a trend? Is it a fad? Or is there some sense from the experts you're talking to that this could last?
It's an internet trend being pushed by big podcasters.
There definitely seems to be a movement. You see young people who see it online. You see liberals who are maybe more likely to want natural foods. And you see it also with libertarians who are more likely to say, get government out of regulation. We would just want the choice. And that's what a lot of farmers...
It's the hippies and the conservatives. Obviously, you've got the hippies. You know, your essential oils ladies that are doing the whole raw milk thing, too. It's not just conservatives.
We spoke to said they aren't getting into the health debates. They just are happy that the regulation is coming down.
Oh yeah, the dairy farmers are just happy the regulation is going down and they're making more money. Oh, look at those fingernails, dude. Aren't you excited to drink that unpasteurized milk that's been like caught in a cup? The stream's been caught in a cup by a guy with fingernails that look like this. Dude, are you excited to drink that? Because like, some dude's gonna drink that shit and this milk's never getting boiled. Oh, dude, these people are poisoning themselves. It's so funny. They couldn't find a photo of a guy who had clean fingernails and clean fingers. Like, look how dirty his hands are. Holy shit. That's a Frodo hand. My God.
In a lot of states, you know, more than 30 now across the country, and they say that consumers should have a choice. Consumers can do the research, they can do the choice. The last message from the epidemiologist and pediatrician we spoke to, she said TikTok is great for beauty tips, not so great for health tips.
Real. Yeah, guys, they're poisoning themselves with the raw milk. It's really funny. I need you guys to understand, we don't fight them on this. Let them poison themselves. Don't correct them. Do not interrupt your enemy while they destroy themselves. Let's just sit back and watch them get E. coli, guys. Like I need you to know, every time you hear a story about someone getting hospitalized because they drank raw milk, you know where their politics were. You know what kind of person they were. They're a Joe Rogan fan. They're a conservative. They voted for Trump, guaranteed. Do not shed a tear for anyone who goes to the hospital due to an E. coli infection because they decide they were going to own the libs by drinking raw milk. Let them take the L. Do not interrupt them as they destroy themselves. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, if you thought it was good, entertaining, educational, any of the above, frankly, then please consider leaving a like, a comment, and perhaps even subscribing and ringing the bell icon to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video on my channel. You can follow my social medias linked down below as well if you want to see more from me on other platforms like Blue Sky and my Discord server, of course. And finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on or roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch if you feel like it through the Xander Hall merch link through Streamlabs, link down below. Excuse me, I had to burp. With all that said, though, regardless of how you supported me, even if you were just silently lurking in chat today, thank you so much for being here and being so kind. And I do very much hope to see you again. And as always, have a good one.